Okay, this problem involves kinematics in 1D, but under free fall conditions. That means gravity is the only force acting on the object or acceleration that the object experiences. So a ball is thrown up from the edge of a cliff that's 50 meters above ground, initial velocity v0. It hits the ground 5 seconds later. What's the initial velocity? How high does the ball go? Maximum height above ground. And what velocity does it hit the ground with? All right, so this is our situation. Here's the ground, ball going up, reaching a maximum height, coming down. They're supposed to be on top of each other, but I just drew it a little bit separated, this path, so that we can see it. And these are the equations of motion we'll be using. Again, here the acceleration is that of gravity. And we're not going to put gravity in just yet until we decide which is our positive sense and which is our negative sense, right? If positive is down, then obviously gravity or the acceleration will be positive. If positive is up, then the acceleration of gravity will be negative. So here is the situation. I choose my axis with the origin down here. That means this is my initial height and initial velocity right there. Gravity is down, negative. Final velocity negative. So I put my initial on final. And here's what I know and I don't know. I know initial height, final height. Again, the final height is right on the ground, which is 0. Initial height obviously is 50. A is negative g, so it's negative 10. It's 9.81, but let's just round it up to 10. We know the time, it went from here all the way up and down, that's 5 seconds. We're looking for final and initial velocities, basically. Those are the only unknowns in the problem that are so obvious right now. Plus they're for part A and part C. So, which equation do we use? Since we're looking for V0 for part A, this seems to be the logical one, right? I mean, it's got time is known, acceleration is known, time is known here, this is known, and this is 0, also known. So the only unknown in this equation is V0, and that will give me right away my initial velocity. So when I plug numbers in and I solve for V0, there is 0, y0 is 50, so negative y0 is negative 50. Again, the acceleration is negative 10. Plug numbers in, and I got 50 meters per second. So that's the initial velocity going up for this ball. Part B, what's the maximum height the ball reaches above the ground? So what is this height up here? Okay. So what I did here is I used this equation. Okay. And I want to compute what y is. This is my origin. There's my initial displacement, initial height. There's my final height. There's my initial velocity. G is still down. I mean, G is still negative. A is still negative G. And I just use this one straight out and solve for y. First algebraically, then plug numbers in. Then I got 61.25 meters. Now, you could have computed the height from here to there, okay, by using the same equation. In this case, y0 will go away, okay, and then add 50 to that, and you should get 61.25 meters. Either way. And number C, or part C, what's the velocity when it hits the ground right here? So here's part C, here's the velocity hitting the ground. Again, here's my origin. Positive is up. So V and G are negative. So I use this equation again, but I have to be careful when I take the square root. I got to put a negative in front of the square root. I have to induce the negative sign. Okay. Now we could have used this one. And that probably would have given us the same answer. Because A is 10, negative 10, T is 5, and V0 is 15. So let's see. V0 is 15 plus 10 times, oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's correct. 5. So that's 50. So negative 50, right? V0 is 15. A is negative 10. T is 5. 15 minus 50 is minus 35 or negative 35. It'll come out as negative 35 right away. This one, the minus sign comes out from the math. This one, you have to induce it, okay? Because remember, if you remember your basic math, if x squared equals k, then x is plus or minus the square root of k. We need to specify that it has to be a minus. We will pick the minus sign manually. If you were to use this equation, which is probably easier than this one, definitely. I should have used it, but this one will automatically come out as negative because you'll have 15 plus negative 10 times 5, which will give you negative 35 meters per second right away. Either way, we're good. All right, this is it for this video.